If you don't want to watch, close your eyes. Go sit down with the other elders. I said, wait a minute. He's not Helen Keller. He's supposed to close his eyes and then go sit down with the other elders. It should say, go sit down with the other elders. If you don't want to watch, close your eyes. And so she redid it. My contribution.
And did that fit? Because she already shot it. She's got to match the...
Well, we
Yes.
did it.
Did it work?
She's good at that.
Excellent. Who knew? Next question.
Hi. First, I want to say that a Lois Lowry book never felt like required reading, so thank you very much.
So thank you.
My question is for Jeff. As obviously such a huge fan of the book, you know, we're talking about movie adaptations and changes. Sadly, the bathtub scene had to be cut, but was there anything in particular that you fought for, or 20 years ago you saw it a certain way and
Oh, yeah.
did it?
The age of the kids, you know, I was one of those ones who said, no, we got to keep it, 12, and I was, really, actually I came to a point when I had to decide whether I was going to stay on board or just, wish everybody good luck, because I knew it wasn't going to be how I pictured it. And as I said before, one time I was thinking about directing, and so I had a lot of opinions. As the dude would say, that's just my opinion. I had a lot of them, I had a lot of them. And then I decided, sometimes when I come to forks in the road like that, I think about, I kind of project myself in the future, and I try to imagine what this would be like if I turned this down, or if I turned it down, it just didn't feel right at all. So I decided to just jump on board, knowing that it was going to be very different, but I was going to kind of roll with it and, kind of take it as it comes, and I knew there were talented people involved, and just to kind of go with it. And then this guy shows up, and this beautiful lady here, and they did, I could tell early on, oh yeah, I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong. It's wonderful to be wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
Because there's so many other things you say, well, maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's.
And do you know, and maybe Nikki is the one to ask this of, why they decided to make it kids?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of reasons. One of the reasons, I think, right, Nick, is just a financial thing. If you got a young kid, you can't work him as hard. And we worked our butts off on this one.
Meaning your hours.
Yeah.
The hours.
And maybe segueing from that, we should talk about what it's like to work in a movie with a lot of babies.
Yeah, well.
Oh, and this baby, man, talking about acting.
Poor Breton had to carry a baby around for a very long time.
Yeah.
How many different babies? Was this a case where you had like triplets and you would swap them out?
It was twins.
William and Alexander.
James and Alex.
James and Alex.
Those babies, they did such a wonderful job. Aren't they great? I mean, as far as just acting, but there's no acting. That's what they tell you, when you're doing a movie. They say, don't act it, just kind of do it, And babies, they have that so natural. It's really an acting lesson to watch how effortless.
If you want someone to play a baby, hire an actual baby. They know it.
But in addition to the baby Gabe, who Jonas takes when he leaves the community, there are a lot of other babies because Jonas and Fiona work in the nurturing center. And so there are many bassinets filled with babies, and there were many women in Cape Town willing to bring their babies to be in those bassinets. And there were also, should we let them know, there were some fake babies.
My first acting role was
I like the gasp for the fake babies. People were like,
fake baby.
Actually, Meryl said at the end of the film we should have said no actual babies were harmed. This movie.
My first role was when I was a baby, 6 months old, and I was in this movie with wonderful actors Jane Greer. John Cromwell was directing, and my parents were. I'm consulting. I got into a long story. I'll see if I can make this short.
Were you as good as the baby in this movie?
I don't, no. I have a lot to learn from this child. But they needed a baby, and I was kind of a happy baby, but the baby in this one needed to cry. And so, unlike our babies, my mother told the actress, Jane Greer, well, just pinch him. He'll cry.
That's still working.
So now we cut about 35 years later, and I'm in another movie with Jane Greer, a remake of a great movie she made with Robert Mitchum called Out of the Past. Ours was called Against All Odds. And she's playing her character in the originals. She's playing her mother now, and I say, Jane, will you just give me, I'm having some emotional problem. Give me a little pinch. Just get me going. A long story, sorry.
Well, I want to thank you guys all so much. You've been a great audience. Thank you to the